Hello guys, I'm Spicy Bill. Welcome back to another episode of Gunpla Review. So today we'll be looking at Zaku 5s. So here we have a Zaku 5 guard type. Here we have Zaku 5, Zaku 5 Marine. And we have the Psychomute Zaku 5. Alright, so in case you guys don't notice, these are the Neo Zeon version of the Zakus. Obviously, we don't actually call them Zaku 5s, we call them the Geara Zulu. They are the successor to the Zaku 4s. The Geara Dogas. So anyway, here we have the Geara Zulu right here. This is the Geara Zulu guard type, and I just knock off is on commander antenna. You know, honestly, I recommend gluing these parts in. Especially with the Geara Dogas and the Geara Zulus. These things like to come off very easily. It's kind of like that with the Zakus as well, so it's completely up to you. If you're going to use this version, you know, you have the option to change them from the commander type to the non-commander type. So if you're going to use a commander type, I think you're better off gluing those in. So anyway, here we have the Geara Zulu, obviously the successor to the Geara Doga. You can see some very similar design. This time though, they really got rid of the bulkiness of the the general bulkiness of the Geara Doga. They actually got rid of that. This look more like a traditional Zaku than that of a Geara Doga. The Geara Doga is just like big and chunky. This thing is like a little bit more slimline, but it still retains that whole, Zeon look to it. Yeah, and obviously, these guys are also produced by that manufacturing company in the Universal Century, also known as Anaheim Electronics. So, yeah, once again, selling arms to both sides, and yeah, so supposedly by the time the Geara Zulu were produced or manufactured or being fielded, they're already pretty much obsolete compared to the newer Federation mobile suits like the Jesta and stuff like that. But these guys can, they can go up against the Jagans no problem. So I guess for the most part, they're still pretty effective. This one here is actually a customized version. This is a guard type with the spiked shoulders, 2 spiked shoulders. I prefer this version because, I like the symmetrical look. Somehow the shoulder shield and the spiked shield on one side on the Geara Zulu just don't look that appealing to me. I don't know why. I guess, maybe it's like the face, maybe it's the torso. It just don't really... You know what? I think I know what the problem is. I think it's because of these markings, these lines and stuff like that. I think it just don't look very well on that traditional Zaku look. So I went with a more more specialized look of the with the these symmetrical spike pauldrons. Yeah. This one's a little bit hard to find, I think, compared to the the usual Geara Zulu, standard Geara Zulu. But anyway, this guy has the same exact armaments. I don't have him fully decked out, and I don't have all the accessories here with me. But if you want to see all the accessories, you can check out the link to the original video review of Geara Zulu. Still, this is actually one of my favorite grunt suits. I would say I like these guys a little bit more than the Geara Doga, surprisingly. I'm kind of wanting to get the Angelo Sauper version for that backpack and that bigger. I think that's a beam rifle or something like that. Yeah. Okay. The one thing I don't like about these sleeve kits is obviously the foil stickers that goes around the sleeve and the sleeve markings and stuff like that. Now. There is one thing to be concerned about when it comes to the sleeve kits, because the sleeve markings, like all the way up to until this version of the Neo Zeon movement, they don't really go all out with the whole German soldier type of look. But I guess with the this version of Neo Zeon, also known as a sleeve, yeah, these are super World War II German inspired. Originally when the Principality of Zeon is more like the Japanese and German combination kind of thing. With these guys, they're just going all German. Yeah, World War II German. So yeah, that might turn some people off. Well, anyway, that being said, just be aware of that whole. Some people are not fans of these markings, and I can understand why. But still, these guys are. It's fiction, so to keep that in mind always. And yeah, the Geara Zulu is definitely one of my favorite Neo Zeon Grunsus. Definitely a step above the Geara Doga, and not just because it's more advanced. I just like the look better. Okay, next off, I already reviewed this guy. This is a Zee Zulu, so yeah, basically you can see it's the same size. I mean, they have the same legs. It's just a modified version of the Geara Zulu and used for amphibious combat. It's pretty effective. So yeah, if you watch that episode, I don't think a lot of Zee Zulus were produced, because I guess they didn't really need to use it. They really did not have any major underwater battles. I mean, I don't think the unicorn even went underwater, right? There's a Shamblo. I think, but the Shamblo isn't even. What was the Shamblo? Neo Zeon? I don't know. I think it is. Yeah. So I mean, maybe all the money went to developing that Shamblo. So yeah, they didn't really mass produce a lot of these because they were still using a lot of the older Zeon amphibious mobile suit for that assault in that Australian base in Gundam Unicorn. They were doing well until the Byland customer showed up, and then they got their asses handed to them. But oh well, yeah. This is also one of my favorite kits. So yeah, these two are definitely my favorites. Now I know someone left a comment in one of the in the community section. If it's if a Monoeye suit is blue, that means it cannot be a Zaku. So yeah, this is no Zaku, boy. This is no Zaku. All right, so there's a Zee Zulu. Here's a Geara Zulu, and here we have the custom Rozen Zulu. Obviously, still using the same body, very similar design. You can see the chest section on the Rozen Zulu is exactly the same as the Geara Zulu. A lot of telltale signs. The front skirts and the crotch piece is exactly the same. The lower legs are pretty much very, very similar. Yeah, it's just basically a more advanced version of the highly modified Geara Zulu. Yeah, to people who are new to this hobby, maybe they can't tell the difference. They would think like this is a completely customized suit made from the ground up, but no, this thing's it's pretty much just a modified Geara Zulu. I mean, look at the head. You can see the lower half of the headpiece is exactly the same as the Geara Zulu, just the upper half. Yeah. Still, I think they did a pretty good job on customizing the Geara Zulu into this form. Now, if you guys are familiar with the Hama from Double Zeta, you can see basically they salvage a ton of parts from the Hama and then they kit bash it with the Geara Zulu to make the Rozen Zulu. You got the Hama style shoulders, the Hama style hands or the forearms and the claws. These are the only thing that are new. These are rose petal style funnels. Yeah, it's actually got quite a few of them. Like I said, if you want to see the full review on these this suit, definitely check out my review on this. I'll put the link to all the original review in the video description. So yeah, I mean, as far as articulation go, this guy really doesn't really got too much articulation. I mean, this thing is kind of bulky. It's got all the same articulations as the Geara Zulu, but it's just a little bit bigger and a lot more finicky. So yeah, it's got heels, so it doesn't really stand up right. You know, you can put it in a certain position and it can hold its place. But if you want to do you know, something a little bit more dynamic, you know, splay out the arms or have it like staying one pose, you run into the possibility of this thing falling over very easily. So this thing definitely needs to be on an action base. And with all its gimmicks, you know, like the rose petal style funnels, stuff like that, you definitely want to put this on the action base anyway. The hand also have the gimmick where you can fire off the this thing. You have these clear wires, or you know, those things that connects to this thing. The pilot for this suit is actually Angelo Sauber. I think this might be a modified version of his you know, Geara Zulu commander type suit. I think it got kind of damaged, so they modify into the Geara's Rozen Zulu. And yeah, I don't think he's a new type pilot, so, or maybe he could be a new type pilot, but when he had to fire off these you know, these things as income units, there's power cables connecting this thing to the forearm. So I'm thinking he's probably not a new type. I probably need to read the wiki again because I get those things kind of confused. Some people say like the new type pilots sometimes also have to use you know, sometimes also have suits that have the connection port, the connection cables and stuff like that. And some people say no, the new type pilot don't need it because they're new types. So those things are only reserved for like either cyber new types or old types. But I have those things very confused. Yeah, it's like it's not something I really pay attention to. But either way, I think this is a very nice suit, a very nice model kit. It's a lot of fun to put together. The sticker on it isn't really that bad. You know, it seems to be holding out. You know, after more than a year, I think. It's been on here for more than a year. Nothing is peeling, nothing is flaking. So I think it's okay. I did paint some of these parts right here on the collar section right here because I know those are just gonna be a disaster. So yeah, other than that, you know, I really like this suit. You know, aside from the very German-inspired markings, which I'm not really too fond of, but other than that, you know, these are pretty cool. Yeah, I wish these guys were in, you know, double Zeta, so we have double Zeta version of it without the markings. You know, whenever there's a version of the double Zeta version of the you know, a sleeve suit, I always go for the double Zeta version. Like there's like the double Zeta, there's a unicorn version of the Dryson, I skip that. There's also the unicorn version of the what's that? The Dryson. The Doven Wolf. I skipped that too. And the rest of them, they made them into P Bandai. So yeah. So that pretty much prevent me from buying those. But anyway, these guys are definitely really cool. Definitely check them out if you can find them. I definitely recommend the Geara Zulu. I recommend the guard type. The Zee Zulu is pretty cool too. If you can get a hold of this guy, I definitely get it. And so Rozen Zulu. Rozen Zulu is probably last. Yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this review. Let me know what you guys think about these guys. Thanks for watching.